All right, here we go. We are on stream number 2. So glad that you have joined us. If you are joining us right now, hit a like, a comment, a share. Make sure and get this out to the interwebs across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you're at. Share it out. We'd love for more people to be a part of what's going on right here. We're at the midday live stream, and we've got our crew, including Paul Daly, Michael Cirillo, the whole crew at the Automotive News Retail Forum. If you don't know what's happening there, but Automotive News brings together some thought leaders. Also, there's going to be announcements today with all of the 40 under 40 winners with Automotive News 40 under 40. So we'll get to hear from a lot of those. We've got original troublemaker Erikka Tiffani is going to be live on stage a little bit later today. But right now we're getting into just what's going on the scene. We want to first thank Cion Digital for sponsoring this live stream. Cion Digital is the ultimate crypto dealership platform. They allow dealerships and auto retailers to deliver a seamless cryptocurrency transaction experience to accelerate revenue opportunities. Thanks again to Cion Digital. And with that, all I want to do is I want to throw it out there to Vegas and welcome you to the Automotive News Retail Forum with Paul J. Daly and Michael Cirillo.
All right, what is going on? We are live from the Hilton Las Vegas at the Automotive News Retail Forum. Everyone is starting to file in. Your faces, a lot of dealers, feels a little red carpety. And I had my friend who you may know, Michael Cirillo, who has graciously decided to use Kyle Mounsier's badge, his press credentials. So we're just going to pretend Kyle's here. Michael, thank you so much for doing this with me.
My pleasure. I told the crew they're going to have to go wide, maybe a 16 millimeter, bring the camera down a little bit just to fit me in the screen. But I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Like Genghis Khan, right? Like this, he has that presence about him. So there are a lot of things going on today. As you know, Automotive News Retail Forum usually happens the day before NADA starts. It's obviously it's probably going to be less than 1,000 people in here. It's a pay to attend event. So everyone here really wants to be here because the value is so high. Our friends at Automotive News always put on a high quality program. This is actually the first automotive event I had ever been to when I first came. And I didn't even know there was something called NADA. I saw an ad for Automotive News Retail Forum. I went to, it was New Orleans. I flew in and everyone's like, what are you doing for NADA? And I said, what's that? So this event specifically has a special place in my heart. In the years that have followed, I realized they really do have a well thought out program. They bring a lot of people into the industry. This is where I met Ernie Garcia and we had a great conversation. Ernie Garcia showed up here.
Right.
Got on stage into a front of a crowd of dealers, and he did a good job. Did you ever see that?
I missed that one, but I'm with you. I think the content that you can get at this forum in particular is really enlightening. It's action-based, and you get to hear from your peers in a way that you might not be able to in a traditional format, which is really nice.
So we're going to pull a few people in. You got to hold your mic up a little higher. We're not fancy. We can tell them that in the live stream. We're going to pull a few people in here into the live stream. The 40 under 40 is really the synthesis and the launch is at this event. They're going to receive their awards. They're going to, some of them will actually have a little bit to say. Did you ever win a 40 under 40?
I did, but in Canada. I don't know if that 40.
Well, the 10 to 1 rule is like the 4 under 40.
It was like the 35 under 40 just because of the exchange rate.
We'll give you a pass.
Yeah, thanks.
You're over 40 now.
Pushing 40.
So you still have a year.
I could still make it. I could still make
Nominations
it.
are open for next year. He could do it for me. My ship has sailed. So we're going to talk to some of the 40 under 40. If you follow the Automotive State of the Union and the Troublemakers crew, that we actually have a troublemaker or two on the list. I'm not saying that's why they're on the list, but I'm saying it's awful coincidental right? I'm not saying I'm Superman, but I'm seeing you've never seen he and I in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, there you go. I'm with you on this. I don't know. I don't believe in coincidences. First of all,
me neither.
So who knows, man? Agenda pushing. I don't know. Troublemaking.
So we're gonna get our chief troublemaker on this under 40 list in a minute. It's Erikka Tiffani. You all know her very well. She's actually has the leading speaking spot at this event. She's the first interview. I'm not going to say she's a little nervous, but she's a little nervous. But we've curated some really nice walk-on music for her. I think once the beat drops, she's going to be just fine. We're going to get here on camera. Actually, she's coming right now. And I think we're just going to try to pull her into the live stream. We have another resident troublemaker coming in. We're just going to pull him into the stream.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's happening right now.
Come on in. We're live streaming right now. Everybody knows Damon Lester. Damon, when did you get in?
I got in here on Tuesday.
And what did you do today? Besides eat breakfast?
Meetings, no breakfast.
Exciting. Did you ride the Tesla Loop? Okay, you should do it. We just did it.
On IG and
Is that where you found out about it?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So you're at this event. Why did you come to this event this time? Is this your first Auto News Retail Forum?
My second one, we have Damian Mills, who's our vice chair, who's going to be speaking today, and also to see Erikka. So going to be here.
We were just talking about Erikka.
Yeah.
We were saying, we're not saying it's because she's one of the Automotive State of the Union troublemakers that she's on the list, but it's awfully coincidental.
Right. Well deserving. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of them this afternoon.
Thanks. We're going to catch up with you later and do a little more.
Take care, guys.
God bless you. See you. All right, Erikka snuck by while we were talking to Damon.
Yeah, you want me to grab her?
Yeah.
I got to grab her.
Go ahead.
I'm going to grab
He's going to go get Erikka. We're also going to get Kerri Wise on. And there is, I'm
off camera, but I'm still on audio.
Atypical, disproportionate amount of women in automotive at this event this year. And we're talking about dealers, we're talking about GMs, sales managers, and it's really exciting to see the momentum of these very powerful and determined and dedicated and really savvy car gals. Can I say that?
Absolutely.
Okay, car gals. And this is one of them. We were just talking about you. Here, you can actually have this mic for a second. Erikka, what were you doing last night between like midnight and 2 a.m.? That's a dangerous question, but I already know the answer. So
We were having one of the craziest powwows in the room. It was a meeting of the minds. I call it the melanated moguls. We were all sitting in the room, kind of having a brainstorming session, and it felt so good. It felt so awesome to be with three powerhouse women.
Geeking out about the auto industry.
Talking about cars. You know, instead of being over golf, we just had, donuts. You're having a good time eating and talking and really just talking about this amazing industry you're in and the times that we're in and the future and all the bestest, brightest things are still here to come. So, I mean, if you weren't in that room, I'm sorry to tell you, you missed a lot.
We weren't, but we just heard a little bit of it. So congratulations on your award. We were just talking about
Thank
it.
you.
Are you nervous?
I just been in the toilet. And I just came out the toilet for this interview. So you guys are lucky because I came out the bathroom for you. No, it makes you nervous, right? It's just part of this thing. Every time you get on stage, you get that nervous, but you know you're there for a reason. You have something to say. And as soon as you start talking, it all feels better.
So Erikka hasn't been to this event yet. It's your first NADA, right?
My first NADA.
I told her when I saw this was announced, I was like, this is a pretty big deal one, right? This is a really hard stage to get on.
You did, and it made me more nervous. Thanks.
I didn't mean to do that. I don't mean to do that.
Guy. I mean, what are you doing?
We're going to talk to you a little bit later in the show. We're going to let you go. A lot of people want to meet you, see you, talk to you, hear from you.
Absolutely.
What are you most excited about for NADA in general? It's your first show. You've been getting speaking requests and all types of things. A lot of people want your time. What are you excited to do while you're here?
Well, I'll say one thing. It's so amazing to have my friends, my girlfriends right here clapping for me in the audience. It's one thing to look out and see your peers in your industry, but when you have your girlfriends there that look like you and know your story and know your struggle, that's an amazing thing. When you hear my theme song, you're going to get it, right?
That's a good one.
Got my whole team here.
It's a good one.
I'm loving that.
Well, thank you so much. We want to talk to your dealer principal, too, at some point.
Please do. Ashlee's absolutely amazing.
We could throw it. There she is. She's right there. We're
going to swing her in. Bring her in.
All right, pass the mic. Ashlee, we're just talking about all the good things that you're doing in the industry. We had a little bit of a conversation over there where I said, hey, until somebody does it, until somebody actually shows everybody that it's okay to do it and it's okay to structure things this way and that it actually works, like once the first person does it, you get a lot of copycats, a lot of other people. So if you could just tell us why you decided, number one, to give Erikka the runway that she needed and why her 3-year-old is the best closer in the automotive business. Oh, you pass her by.
Well, first and foremost, I probably talked to Erikka for 6 months before I got her to come join our team. So
she's hard to convince.
She is, right? So we had lots of conversations. And the one thing that always came back as being really important to her was her family, right? And how's she going to make this transition? And daycare's closed at 6 p.m. And, what about my husband and our family is here? And what about our support system? But going back, I grew up inside a dealership. I grew up inside crawling in and out of the cars, taking a nap in my grandpa's office, So to me, it's just like, well, why can't we do these things? And, we love having Joy in the dealership. She's our GSM, so our general snack manager. She will play at the receptionist desk, the salespeople, we'll throw up a cot in the sales office and she can take a nap in there and it all works. And at the end of the day, when we offer our employees more flexibility, they're truly able to be more productive at work. And so we're excited to be able to show people that you can be a rock star mom and still be in the car business. And it's so important for us to recruit women into the industry. We know the hours are long. We know, we've got all of these, real conflicts that we have to work with. So what can we do inside the dealership to make those things easier? And it's not just about women, it's also about the men inside the dealership, because I truly believe as we see the great resignation and all those things that are happening, dads no longer want to be absent in their kids' lives either, right? So we have to find a way that we can do it all, where they can be super mom, they can be super dad, and they can still be a rock star employee at the dealership too.
I can tell you've thought about this once or twice. I think you just brought up an important point that I really haven't heard is, there is, just like anything, when there's a lack of something, people start to make moves and the pendulum starts to swing in conversation, right? And at some point, the pendulum is going to go so far to the other side that it needs to balance out, right? Now, I know the conversation of women in automotive, right? Like, we're just getting started into seeing, like, the balance that we need. And we have people like Perry Watson III, right? Who's like, hey, we're like 46%, women in every position of our dealership. But what you just said about, like, hey, it's also about the men. It's also about finding it all and the conversation to make it, like, work together. I really believe that that's the next step in having this mass adoption and normalizing, like what we see in your store, normalizing what we see in Perry's store, because I think it could be easy to just the pendulum to swing so far that you miss issues in between, right? You miss the in between. So I love that you just brought that up, because you're looking at the whole of it. And it really does take a dealer who has grown up and sees the both sides of it and now is a part of the transition. So thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely.
If there's one thing you're going to get out of NADA, or that you're going to leave at NADA, right? What is that for you?
It's always the connections. It's really great to go out and hear the speeches and to listen to the workshops, and hopefully you take back a nugget or two to the dealership that you can implement and be successful with. But at the end of the day, the real benefit to conferences like these, events like this, is getting to meet all the great people like yourself, like, Erikka, and really
I've been like LinkedIn stalking you for a while.
And then being able to connect with all these people on social media. This 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, you call up each other and you say, hey, what's going on? How did you do this? How did you do that? And we're all able to collaborate and make the world a better place.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes. I know you have all your friends here, a lot of people to meet. So thank you so much.
Wonderful.
And we'll catch you for another interview in a little bit.
All righty.
Thank you. Erikka, see you later. Congratulations again.
You bring up some good points, right? This is, as she was speaking, as I was listening to her, I thought, first of all, I don't want to create that imbalance by saying these are thoughts that only a female leader could have.
That's right.
However, there are some inherent traits, nourishment, and things of that nature that I know, having 4 sisters and an amazing wife and 4 sister-in-laws, there's thoughts that they have that I probably just would have never thought of to bring more inclusion into the store. And so listening to her speak was really inspirational for that. She's a tremendous leader, you can tell.
Absolutely. I've seen so many people that I want to just like go pull into this live stream. I'm going to let you talk for a second, and I'm going to go hijack.
He's going to go hijack people.
I'll be right back.
All right, so he's leaving me to take over this. I could do anything that I want. We could be singing. I could be tap dancing. I'm not going to do that to you, but just know that if you're not here, you might have missed at some point me doing all of those weird, crazy things, making a fool of myself. One of the things that stands out to me about NADA is just the energy. There's a good positive energy that perhaps I was probably naive to in years past that I'm really feeling especially. I don't know if it's because of lockdowns or what, but getting out and just being surrounded by a lot of positive people is really something that our industry needs more of, needs to lean into a little bit more, and just the opportunity to learn at the feet of so many incredible people. So who do we have here? Who did you bring in?
We're going to bring in the one and only legend. Chip's an OG troublemaker. He's no stranger to the troublemaker crew. Chip Perry, now the CEO of A to Z Sync, but you may have heard his name before in a little company called True Car and Yellow Trader. What was it? Yellow Pages.
Auto Trader back in the day.
We're talking about the person who said, you know what? I bet we could digitally advertise for a vehicle. He had this crazy idea one time. And so just give you a little bit of the backstory. But Chip, it's good to see you here at this event. I've seen you at this event before. I knew you'd be at NADA.
Thank you, Paul.
What are you most excited about this NADA, right? Different energy. We haven't been together for 2 years. You're doing a whole different thing, and you have some momentum with A to Z Sync. So what are you so excited about for this year?
I think I'm so excited about the dealers realizing that even as great as times are right now, profits are raining down on the tops of car dealers.
We've heard that.
At a record level. They're realizing that the conditions in this industry will normalize a bit over time. And they're going to have to start focusing on efficiency and the basics, the fundamentals, not just pre-selling cars they don't have, but going back to actually competing for business and maybe not having the margins they'll have. So I think that I'm excited about the dealers who are forward-looking, thinking ahead, looking to 2023, and trying to figure out where am I going to be then. And I think there's a lot of technology available in our industry now, which helps dealers become more efficient, improve the customer experience at the same time. And I think with the invaders, the disruptors, I call them the barbarians at the gate.
I use that all the time.
And pressures from OEM, the dealers are looking to the future in a very positive way. That's what I'm excited about.
What percentage of dealers do you think are ready to do what's necessary? Like everyone's get there and the people are at different paths, right? What percentage do you think are actually ready, like to say, we need to be thinking 1 and 2 steps ahead right now and are actually actively moving in that direction?
Well, that's a pretty loaded question.
It is.
Paul.
It's a very loaded question, which is why I asked, because I know you can handle it.
Okay. Well, I would say that a growing percentage of dealers are really thinking ahead. And I think that there's a significant percentage that really want to plan professionally, properly, prudently for when times aren't as great as they are right now.
Yeah.
So I would think a third to half of the industry at least is really focused on where they're going to be next year and the year beyond.
Is there any
and retooling their business at a core level? I mean, there's a lot of bad habits. There's a lot of inefficiencies that get built in when times are great.
That's right.
Okay. And I think the really smart, wise dealers are focusing on that topic. And they're thinking, okay, when things get a little tighter in this market, how are we going to compete successfully and hold our bottom line?
That's what it's all about, right? Because we changed business models. We not only held it, we expanded it, but let's not let it go back, right?
Yes.
And that's going to be the game. Can you remember another time in automotive when there was something going on where everyone had a ritual? Like, can you compare this to a time that you lived through in auto? Like, this reminds me of.
Well, I would say that the time we're in now is completely unprecedented in the last 30 or 40 years in terms of the positive environment for dealer profitability that exists now. I would say that this is a positive disruption. We've experienced negative disruptions. There was a thing called cash for clunkers.
I lived through that
10 years ago. There was the financial crisis of 2008 when the automotive market dropped 40% overnight and the cost structures had to be adjusted accordingly. So I think dealers have seen the positive side of disruption and the negative side of disruption, and more negative than positive. So this is actually truly unprecedented in a positive way.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before you get kicked off here?
Well, just that I love being here at NADA. I love leading a young company that is pointing the way to how cars I think will be sold in the future, which is a smoother, more efficient, streamlined customer experience in which one person is handling the entire transaction from A to Z. And I think it's a holy grail that the industry will evolve toward over time. There is one solution to the problem of a broken up process, time consuming, frustrating, disliked by consumers. That's having one person simply handle the whole deal on behalf of the customer and the dealership. Let the customer win, let the house win.
Let's go.
And that's what a one person sales model can do.
They don't like that saying in Vegas.
Let the house win.
Let the customer win and let the house win. Well,
Thank
if you can do
Paul.
that, you've won.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you
Nice
so much.
being
We'll
with you
catch
all.
up with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, we're moving over here. We're going to let come on in, Kerri.
Hello. How's it going?
They have a
How's it
little
going?
music routine that we might just do next
No.
time.
No. I'm 80s rap. That's where it stopped. My skills stopped.
Oh, no way. Because he was beatboxing. She was dropping it like it was hot. There's no 80s rock stuff going on here. We'll forego that for the live stream, right? We need to give you your final say.
Yes.
But as you also know, Kerri Wise has been a resident troublemaker for a long time. First, she knew Chip that you were just talking with.
Yes.
She spent a little time with Chip.
I spent a lot of time with Chip. Changed my career. Changed my life. Definitely.
So you were the PR director for TrueCar?
Well, I actually was in marketing. I was in communications.
Yeah, but you
I
were in
had
the
a
middle
bunch
of
roles,
everything is what it
but
was.
I was kind of a face of the company, right? An evangelist, I think is what I like to call it.
And you made a big
Yeah.
transition over the last year and a half.
Yes.
Moved over to AutoFi and all of a sudden realized oh, this is what you do when you don't have a ginormous budget. I have to do all these things.
I'm really working now.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
It's
Right.
true.
That's a story
It's
in the making
true.
right there. So, Kerri, you've done so much for WOCAN, just to women in automotive in general. You're rolling with your crew.
Yes.
We'd like to pass you the mic and let you introduce.
Okay, cool.
I think Amanda would be a great one to introduce. We
Yeah.
already talked to Kerri and
Hopefully
Ashlee,
they're
so
paying
she's going to
attention
flag her
over
down.
here.
So
let me start with
Go ahead.
Amanda.
Yeah,
right?
please.
I'll jump in with Amanda.
Introduce who she is, and we'll bring her in.
So Amanda Gordon, she is the president CEO of Gojo Auto, which is an independent car dealership. First Black woman to ever own a car dealership. I think it was in the year of 2018.
We're going to bring her in.
Amanda,
Bring her in.
come
We're
on
informal. Here, you can.
Okay, you got your own mic?
You can have the rock
Hey
mic.
everybody,
All right, Amanda.
where am I looking?
We're talking. I think we're looking here. We're looking here. We're live.
All right.
Okay. So Amanda, I was talking about how you're the first Black woman
Right.
to ever own a car dealership in the state of Colorado in
Right.
year 2018.
Yep. November 20th, 2018 was when I got my dealer's license, and it was a whirlwind of emotions because you feel excited, but you also feel like, really, this late in the game, I'm the first.
It's crazy to be a trailblazer, in 2018,
Right.
But I think as women of color, this is why we started WOCAN.
Yeah.
Is that oftentimes we're the first,
Right.
Right.
Well, I think growing up as a young minority child, you don't think of the automotive industry. I played softball with a young lady whose uncle owned a Mazda store in Sacramento, California. And so in their family, it was customary, but in ours, we don't know anything about the automotive industry. So to have that representation, particularly with WOCAN, spreading the industry gospel has just been a godsend.
Yes, because don't you think that automotive is the best kept secret out there? when I meet
Absolutely.
women.
Absolutely.
I'm like, why aren't you considering the automotive industry?
Right. And it's so forgiving. It's lucrative. It's sexy. It's fun. Why
Yes.
not? It's cars.
It's cars. It's cars. I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
Amanda's also the co-founder of
Co-founder.
WOCAN as well.
Right.
So let's bring Erikka in.
Erikka
Erikka
Wells.
is our other girl. Erikka Wells. Erikka is a sales manager of VW of Marion. She's also a co-founder of WOCAN. And we were just talking about Amanda being the first ever Black woman
Incredible.
to own a car dealership. But even you're breaking barriers out at the sales management level. There's not a lot of sales managers that look like you.
That's
so like,
absolutely right.
tell me about what that feels like to be a first.
It's nervous and exciting and wonderful all at the same time. I mean, one hard part is you don't really necessarily know what to do because there's not necessarily the same challenges that you haven't been through before. There's not people that you can talk to, which is why we started WOCAN, right? We started it so we could have faces like us. And then when we had certain struggles that were individual and unique to our struggle, we could go back and say, hey, I haven't been through this before. When I'm having a bad day, I call Amanda. I say, how many you got out, right? We start talking about car talk. We talk about Viato. We talk about the things that are familiar in this industry. And it's like having the boys club, but now it's the girls club. Right. And it's girls that look like me, so I can feel comfortable and I can feel like my voice matters. And I can feel like the conversations that we're having are authentic and unique. And I'm not an outsider looking in. I'm an insider hoping that other people want to get involved with what we have going on.
We were up last night between about 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. in the hotel room talking about the car business, right?
Geeking out.
Industry, where it's going.
So pure. Right.
And all I can think is, are we the only 3 Black women in the whole universe that are talking about the car business at 2 a.m.? And I can guarantee we were.
I had to kick him out of my room. I was like, it's
We
time to
had our
go.
own 20 group. We don't need your 20 group. We got our own 20
We had a
group.
3 group.
You want to be in our group.
And it was great. And what's lovely is we come from different sectors of the industry.
We
So
do.
we have our own unique perspective. Kerri's a consumer advocate.
Wait, hold on. Let me take the mic back. That's offensive. So first of all, she says I'm a consumer advocate. I'm a dealer advocate, and I interpret the consumer to the dealer. But I love dealers.
Look, first of all, I never give both microphones away. Ever. So, and there is totally
It's a
group,
takeover.
there's a group thing going here, right? We just talked about this. We're going to work on this for you. We're going to sit down. We'll do another interview as well, because I know a lot of people want to talk to you. But as long as Erikka's here, she's not nervous.
Yeah. That's true.
So
Now I'm starting to think about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll get you back on. Go ahead. Go rock the show.
Back to your original.
Okay, we're going to cut back to Kyle, who has our today's sponsor of the content. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, we're going to thank our friends at Cion Digital for making it happen, bringing blockchain technology into automotive. Kyle's got them standing by. He's going to talk to them and ask them a few questions about what they're doing and talk about the importance of blockchain. And then we're going to bounce back and we're going to go hijack as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And next shot, you'll probably see us on the main stage.
Yeah,
and then it'll be arrested, and then it'll be kicked out of the building. So
Details.
Kyle, I hope you're ready, because we're going to cut over to you and let you move forward.
Absolute riot out there. What an absolute riot. Absolutely fun having at the Automotive News Retail Forum there in the lobby as everybody's about to head in. We'll kick back to them in just a minute. But we wanted to have a chance to talk to our partners for the day. And don't go away from this, because one, we've got some really fun stuff for you headed back there, but also the technology and what this company is bringing to the automotive industry is groundbreaking. And it's something that a lot of dealers over the next few months and year are really going to be leaning into and thinking about. So I'm excited to introduce you to Bandy, and he can come on in, and then Mike as well from Cion Digital. Excited to have them here and in I guess in the studio or the live stream. Gents, thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for having us. I mean, the energy over in Vegas is awesome. We're excited to go down there shortly.
Yeah, and you guys are headed out there,
super
right?
Excited. Thank you so much for hosting.
Yeah, your flights are this afternoon or something? Is
Yep,
that right?
I'm hopping on a flight right after this. Excited to meet everybody at the conference.
Very
cool. Bandy, don't you still have to pack, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's unfortunate.
Right down there.
That's
I'm
great.
excited, man.
That's great. Well, let's get into it, Mike. We had the pleasure of having you on Pitch Tank, I think just a couple of weeks ago, to talk to some industry experts about what you guys are doing at Cion Digital. So I want to take a little bit of time just to hear exactly what kind of the product is, and then maybe we can talk to you just a little bit about the thought process and the theory and some of the data that you're seeing as to why dealers might be interested in bringing crypto as a transactional method into their dealership. So tell me a little bit about what Cion is doing to kind of bring that into the dealership and give them the capacity for that.
Hey, Mike, do you want me to take that one?
And how does that really kind of pay? I think we're on a little bit of a feedback there, but yeah, how it really kind of plays into auto dealerships is we built a solution for dealers to accept crypto as payment, as well as finance full auto purchases using crypto for crypto loans, as well as finance just a down payment using crypto loans, and then in combination with traditional means as well. So yeah, it's a really interesting tool. And you might be kind of wondering, what are we kind of somewhat similar to? You could kind of think of us as like maybe like early stages of Dealer Track or Route One, but for crypto rather than for regular traditional payments and whatnot. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I got
maybe explain that a little bit as far as
Sure.
like, because a lot of dealers and managers and everyone might understand what Dealer Track or Route One is doing, but there's a lot of people across the industry that may not be familiar with that. And then how you might be able to actually, because you've got kind of digital retailing tools on this side, you've got Dealer Track and Route One, which is the back end, you've got customer facing versus that. What does it mean for you all to actually be able to kind of be another layer to financing to a Dealer Track or Route One for funding?
Yeah, absolutely. Bandy, I know I've been talking a little bit there too. So if you want to take this question, you can. If not, I can also talk about it as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we are really excited, Kyle. Appreciate the question. We feel, hey, we actually are going to have a major announcement coming out tomorrow with one of the largest digital retailers. To us, we are basically like the dealer track of crypto. When people want to come in and make transactions through cryptocurrency, hey, crypto can be complex. There's a lot that needs to go into it. Cion Digital and the team here, we've made it simple. We've made it easy. So we'll integrate with the dealership or with some of these large digital retailers, and we'll create a simple experience. So it's really maybe 4 or 5 screens, and boom. I mean, everybody's the car buyer gets their car. If there's a lender through financing, the lender gets their collateral from the car buyer, and ultimately the dealer wins because they've sold their car and they've gotten rid of some inventory.
Interesting. And so what, because obviously cryptocurrency has kind of grown over the last 10 years, but there's still a hesitancy to bring it to the transaction a lot of times, right? And even just in general retailers, I know that, for some small merchants, things like Shopify have made it possible to do small transactions. But when we talk about things like gas fees and things like, actually creating the transaction and making sure that transactions on one side match up with the other, explain a little bit about what you're doing to actually leverage as opposed to leveraging the crypto as opposed to actually paying with the crypto. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, totally. And I'll take a step back too and just kind of explain the payment side before we do talk about the leverage side, because they do go hand in hand with one another. And you might be wondering, hey, if I'm accepting crypto for payment, what's the deal with the volatility? What if Bitcoin goes up in crazy amount, or what if Bitcoin goes down in a crazy amount? Am I going to be holding that on my balance sheet? Am I subject to the risk involved with the volatility of this token? Well, with our payment solution, what we do is we give the opportunity for your dealership to accept crypto as payment, and any consumer can use their Bitcoin or their Ethereum or their Dogecoin or Shiba or any of the top 20 most popular cryptocurrencies. And in that situation, as soon as that individual has paid for the vehicle, what we do is we'll actually convert that cryptocurrency into a stable coin, which is a stable value token that represents a US dollar. So on your balance sheet, you don't have to, hold Bitcoin if you don't want to, if you don't want to take on that extra risk involved in the volatility. What we'll do is we just convert it directly to a dollar, a representation of a dollar in crypto. And then you could export that out into your bank account if you wanted to, or you could hold it in what we call a crypto wallet that is assigned to your dealership there as well. So that kind of talks a little bit about the crypto payment side of things. And you also asked about the crypto loan side of things. And really kind of how that all works is it's a fully collateralized loan, just like any other type of home equity line of credit, or maybe a securities line of credit, where you're borrowing against the tokens that you have in your wallet there. So you're pledging your cryptocurrency as collateral to borrow against. And basically what that means is that you're going to get an interest rate from a lender, and you'll be paying your loan back. But what you can do is you can borrow up to 75% of your crypto holdings. So say you had, $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and you wanted to buy a vehicle, you could borrow, 50% of that, you could borrow 30% of that, or you could also borrow up to 75%. So you could take a $75,000 loan out, go and purchase a new vehicle at that point.
That's incredible. So if you missed that, we've got this button that we use for our daily podcast. That's a kind of a nerd button. So if you're tuning in and you're like, that's a little bit nerdy for me, it is. It's something that you have to learn, right? When we're talking about wallets and crypto holding and lending against and owning certain percentages of assets, right? It's not similar. It is similar to the stock exchange, but it is not the same, right? And so, yes, do dealers need to start learning this? Yeah. Is this an easier way than setting up all of these partners and all of these places to accept it than not, and leveraging the liability capacity of a partner? Absolutely. And I think that's what you guys are saying, is like, utilize us to leverage our capacity to accept risk and liability, to manage these expenses for you and create seamless transactions at the dealership where things can be done in real time, as opposed to waiting or having some sort of internal technologist to be able to build those, right? So I guess maybe the last question that I have for you, and Bandy, I'll throw this over to you, but what's the vision? What does this mean to you for the consumers and for the dealers? What does it mean to Cion as you're headed into NADA, thinking people are talking blockchain, people are talking cryptocurrency, people are talking NFTs, and wondering how it leans into automotive? What's the vision that Cion has that automotive might have the capacity to meet in the market?
Yeah, this is what excites us a lot, Kyle, because what we've seen is over the past year, 70% of people in the US got into the crypto space last year. And as you think about the whole world, almost half of millennials in the world have crypto accounts. And that's only, we're seeing data that's saying that's going to exponentially rise. And, as car dealerships know, right, millennials are becoming the main buyers now and the main demographic. And then it's going to go to Gen Z and the future generations. And so ultimately, right, last year you saw on CNN and CNBC, I mean, Jim Cramer's talking about, cryptocurrency now, right? And everybody's thought about cryptocurrency from an investment angle. But the reality is, hey, this is a currency, right? Like, you can do payments, you can do lending, like Mike talked about. There's so much more out there. And that's kind of, there's so much out there, NFTs, metaverse, right? And you mentioned some of those things, Kyle. That's where having somebody like us makes it such an easier experience, because the target car buyers, millennials and Gen Z, they have crypto wallets. They're buying cryptocurrency. They're getting into this stuff. And so for dealerships or digital retailers to work with us, we figure out the wallet management. We're going to figure out the transaction situations, fees, speed, the custodian. We're going to figure out all of that stuff on the back end. And we're going to, again, make it just so it's so simple and easy, 3 to 4 screens. And this allows dealerships to have a totally new way to market to millennials and Gen Z and all these people that may not have thin files or any files at all, right? Because when you use cryptocurrency, there is no credit score or bank account number or the traditional banking process. It's a seamless, fast process. So it makes us really excited. And, like we talked about at the beginning of the stream, Mike and I are on our way there with the team. We're actually doing a raffle giveaway. So please, if you guys can find us, we'll have bright yellow shirts with the QR code there. And then, we are going to be announcing winners on the ASOTU stream on Monday. So, yeah, please find us there. We're excited to meet everybody there and talk crypto.
Awesome. Well, Bandy and Mike, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and thank you for pushing back in our industry, bringing something to our industry that is needed. Even though it may be scary for a lot, it is an opportunity for so many. Well, thank you, guys. We are going to head back over to the NADA show, to the Automotive News Retail Forum, and it looks like everybody's filing into the forum. The event's about to start, but Paul and Mike have caught a couple people there. We're bringing them back into the stream, and gentlemen, excited to see who you found at this point.
Good job.
There for a minute.
Go back to back. So it's just past noon. The program is beginning. That's why it's empty here behind us. Thank you so much to Cion for making this content possible. All the crew that's here. I mean, we're not paying Mike anything, but he We're paying you with attention. So thank you for tuning into this live stream. We're going to get in there so we don't miss a moment. We're going to report on it, make some more content at the breaks. Make sure you follow us on social. Follow hashtag ASOTU, ASOTU, so you can see the content we're putting out. We have an editor right now cutting pieces, putting out more content, and we did just drop some content of us riding in Elon Musk's Loop Underground in Vegas. So if you haven't seen that, go to our TikTok or Instagram. You're going to see a story of us riding underground in a Tesla through a tunnel. All that to be said, Kyle, we're gonna flick it back to you. What hashtag ASOTU, right? Yes, follow hashtag ASOTU, and that way you'll be notified or you can see what's going on. And if you're at NADA or you're just with Troublemaker, post some stuff about the auto industry and use hashtag ASOTU.
Use hashtag ASOTU and look for the beards. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 5 beards. You can't miss us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, we should probably get in
unplanned, not part of the strategy. So we're going to flip it back to Kyle. We're going to get in there so we can listen, learn, and let you know what's going on. If you can't be here, we're going to do our best to make you feel like you are. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm still on the phone when that works.